continuing from the previous episode 595. Not far from the place where Xiao Yan and the Gorefiend energy clones fought, the Temple of Medusa. The temple is filled with the smell of ancient silence, as if everything contains a very solemn murderous intent. What's going on? Why can't we get out of the Temple of Medusa? The silent passage was filled with a terrifying smell of sand, and then he snorted coldly, and the figure with an extremely ugly face was the first to speak to break the silence. Isn't it the one who spoke, the current King Xuanling of the Xuanling royal family? Don't worry, Yi Mo said directly. There are too many secrets in this Medusa temple. We have been here for a long time, but we haven't found anything suspicious. I suggest that we go back first and have a long-term plan. Zhan Ming on the side retreated. It's no wonder Zhan Ming has such an idea. After all, in this Medusa temple, the three of them saw nothing but thousands of skeletons. Entering here for a long time, I walked back and forth here, and I never found any secrets, which made King Xuanling and several others stumped. Absurd. We've already reached this stage, how can you retreat so easily? King Xuanling was shocked, and said coldly to Zhan Ming. In my opinion, since we entered this Medusa temple, we have been circling for too long, and we have been circling here. I am afraid that we have been here for several years. As we walked along the way, Yi Mo he kept looking at the mysterious stones full of serpentine characters around him, and said deeply. How many years? King Xuanling, who was still a little persistent, immediately weakened when he heard the words. Because King Xuanling knew that although he wanted to use the power of the seven-colored swallowing python's blood to devour the holy flame in the underground palace, it has been so long since he came to this Medusa temple, let alone the colorful swallowing python. I haven't even seen a Medusa. It's extremely weird. After all, King Xuanling has to deal with all kinds of problems, so if he is stuck here for a long time, it is obviously not a wise choice. And I can feel that a very tyrannical prohibition has been placed in this Medusa temple. I am afraid that the non-fighting immortals will not be defeated. Before the Xuanling king could speak, Yi Mo said solemnly, the three of them have been around this Medusa temple for dozens of times since the war, but no matter how they used their skills, they could not escape or find any clues, so that the three of them delayed. Trapped here. Wait, this Medusa statue doesn't seem right. King Xuanling immediately understood the seriousness of the matter and stared carefully at the lifelike Medusa statue in front of him. A strange feeling emerged from the bottom of his heart. That feeling seems to be an ancient alien beast, from which terrifying pressure radiates. King Xuanling? Zhan Ming asked tentatively. I think I know why we've been standing still. The problem should come from this statue. King Xuanling patted Zhan Ming on the shoulder, and his heart became slightly hot. Statue? Yi Mo and Zhan Ming heard the words and looked at the statue of Medusa standing quietly in front of them. It has extremely terrifying deep-colored pupils. As for the hair, it is like a wavy curl. The graceful curves all over the body, even if it is a statue, it exudes a natural enchanting color. These eyes, it seems a little weird. King Xuanling's body shook, and then the power of dazzling flames suddenly condensed on the palm of his hand. Go! The power of flame just came into contact with the standing statue of the Medusa family, and suddenly disappeared like moths to the flames. At that time, King Xuanling was also at a loss. It's just that the Xuanling king and the others didn't find out. As he came out like this, there was a sudden flash of change on the Medusa statue, as if something inside had awakened. Captain, this place is really mysterious. Apart from finding some gold and silver jewelry, we haven't seen anything else. How can this be? Opposite the place where the Xuanling king and the others disappeared, a few hungry people from the Bloodblade mercenary group slowly appeared. It's really weird here. It's been a long time since we've been in here, but no matter how we move forward, we'll just stay where we are in the end. The scarred man stared at the strange space of the Medusa temple and said, Originally, we entered this Medusa temple just to restrain our wealth. Tang Tang said slightly, but his pupils were flashing with some strange light. Captain, although you are right, being able to enter this Medusa temple, whether it is the scales or the blood of the Medusa family, is something of infinite value. If we can get a drop by luck, then we will be successful in the future. The scarred man smiled, but his heart was extremely greedy. I wonder what happened to the little guys with us? I always feel that they are not easy, and the alchemist named Xiao Yan is the most dangerous. Tang Tang shook his head and said, However, the Medusa temple is far from being as peaceful as we imagined. It is also to prevent the treasures of the Medusa family from being taken away by outsiders. But why does it make me feel a chilling feeling? Tang Tang wondered, because I don't know why. Every time Tang Tang probed the depths of this Medusa temple, there was an extremely terrifying depth there. The power surged out in an instant. That power, like an extremely powerful force that wipes out everything, is eerie and cold. The space in the Temple of Medusa, here, is a rather mysterious scene. A huge sky-swallowing python slowly swam. Above its body, the faint power of 10 colors was extremely terrifying, and then it looked at the figure above the sky. I didn't expect that we all succeeded. Shikai Tianxian Python stared at the terrifying power above Qianying, and suddenly let out a sigh. I'm about to wake up. The next moment, Shikai Tianxian Python saw the power of Shikai burst out above the shadow, adding a lot of color to this space. Boom boom boom. The terrifying power of 10 colors spread throughout the entire space, and then the shadow stretched her waist slightly, and her demonic pupils exuded deadly power. Xiao Shi, go. I can sense his breath, he is in danger. Qianying just opened her bewitching pupils, and suddenly a monstrous force burst linked to out www.novelmtl.com and then slowly came out voice. There was a hint of urgency in that ruthless Qianying's voice. Hee, Xiao Yan, I never imagined that the Queen's ruthless personality was influenced by you. After Shikai swallowing Python finished speaking, she instantly caught up with Ma Qianying. Xinya 81 Zhang Wian Wang Wu. Kai 8, approximately 1 ZS, Coam, forget it, take these things and go quickly. I always feel that there is something to discover. Tang Tang did not hesitate, took some gold and silver treasures, and then went to the Medusa temple, where it seemed to be the exit of the Medusa temple. Hey, there seems to be something on the statue of Medusa? Zhan Ming suddenly found something and was shocked. Where is Xiao Yan? With a cold snort, a force of 10 colors that the world surrendered to him instantly emerged. Immediately above Qianying, a terrorist attack containing the power of 10 colors kicked out directly, attacking Zhan Ming. Seeing this, Zhan Ming, who was still in shock, saw the fighting qi in his body pushed to the extreme, but found that he could not resist the attack no matter what, as if the fighting qi in his body had solidified in front of this power. Immediately, Qianying was kicked out of the Temple of Medusa. Colorful sky-swallowing python? At the next moment, the pupils of King Xuanling, who had just retreated, shrank tightly, only in front of him. A figure wrapped in the power of 10 colors slowly appeared, and the ruthless aura around him an exhibition without a doubt. Ask for a ticket. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 596. As the closed Medusa temple was kicked out by Qianying, a conspicuous passage on the wall of the Medusa temple was kicked out by it. As for Zhan Ming, he was kicked unconscious by Cailin. Damn it! King Xuanling raised his head and stared at the beautiful shadow slightly. I saw that Qianying's body was wrapped in a force of 10 colors, and there was no clue at all from the outside. King Xuanling also tried to investigate Qianying, but King Xuanling was surprised to find that no matter how hard he tried, his power would not be able to break through the power of 10 colors. On the power of 10 colors, the terrifying power of isolation instantly emerged. Is this woman the colorful sky-swallowing python? But what's the matter with the power of 10 colors on that body? In this power of 10 colors, there are so many attributes. King Xuanling couldn't help frowning. Zhan Ming? Seeing this, Yi Mo's heart sank, and then his figure moved and flew directly towards Zhan Ming, who had passed out. Upon seeing this, King Xuanling immediately escaped from the Temple of Medusa, and then went to Xuanming's side. As for the color scales and the 10-color swallowing python, they are located in the Medusa temple, quietly watching the escaped Xuanling king and a few people. What should I do now? Shikai Tianxian Python said to Cailin. After all, I am a companion spirit snake, so I still have to focus on the color scales. No, I have to save him first. Cailin said coldly, with a rare stubbornness in her voice. There are other people in this temple of Medusa? It seemed that he noticed something, and then the 10-colored swallowing python suddenly found a few Tang people in the temple of Medusa, and immediately shot them away. There are enemies. At the next moment, Tang was the first to discover the 10-colored sky-swallowing python, but the latter's terrifying strength, even Tang, was slightly struggling. breaking into the Temple of Medusa. Death. Since the 7-colored swallowing python evolved into the 10-colored swallowing python, it immediately understood the grievances between the Medusa family and the Xuanling royal family, and immediately shouted angrily. Damn it! Tang Tang's face became solemn when he saw this, and then he was ready to deal with the 10-color swallowing python. Even if he lost, he could only delay time for his own companions. You go first, Tang Tang said decisively, without any hesitation in his voice. Do not, Captain, we will live and die with you. The scarred man and several of his subordinates have not been to Tang Tang for a day or two, so they have no intention of leaving. Go! Tang Tang's voice increased a bit. As soon as he finished speaking, the medicinal pill prepared by Xiao Yan instantly appeared in the palm of his hand. You guys go quickly, I'll hold it back. Tang Tang knew that he couldn't deal with this terrifying 10-color swallowing python, and a random blow from the 10-color swallowing python might be enough to kill him. Just when Tang Tang was in a hurry to swallow the medicinal pill and was about to go all out, the figure of the 10-color swallowing python turned into a woman, casually skipping in front of Tang Tang, and grabbed the medicinal pill in his palm. Passed. It has his taste on it, Shikai Tianshan Python said familiarly. Among the medicinal pills, there are still bursts of medicinal incense, and Xiao Yan's as many as 20 kinds of different fires were refined, which is very distinguishable. Well, Cailin's eyes have never left Tang Tang and several people. Out of a woman's intuition, Kai Tun seems to think that Tang Tang knows Xiao Yan. What's the relationship between Xiao Yan and you? Kai Tun's figure moved, regardless of the Xuanling king, and directly stepped through the void and came to Tang Tang. Are you fighting immortals? Tang Tang looked up at the mysterious woman with difficulty, and a murderous intent slowly radiated from her shadow. Having a relationship with him, it's considered a team. What about these pills? Brother Xiao Yan is generous. These things were given to us when he was our team's alchemist. Humph. Tang Tang and Cailin's strange dialogue echoed in this temple. Let's go. After Cailin heard the words, she immediately became friendly towards these people. He's still so adventurous. With a light hum, it turned into a sound of boundless terror that echoed throughout the temple. What is the relationship between this mysterious woman and Xiao Yan? Xinya 81 Zhang Wei and Wang Wu. Kai 8.1 ZS. Coem, a mysterious powerhouse at the level of Dou Xian. It seems that Xiao Yan's background is not small. How can Tang Tang not understand what this mysterious woman is doing? This is clearly because they have a relationship with Xiao Yan. For the sake of it, I let them go. Otherwise this time, there is no need to say more about the fate of Tang Tang. Go! Tang Tang glanced at each other, and then they were not in this crisis-filled Medusa temple. They went directly to the gap and disappeared quickly. Damn it! What exactly is going on? This woman's strength has actually reached the level of Dou Xian? When did the Medusa clan appear to have such a level of power? King Xuanling swept out of the Medusa temple, came to the fainted Xuanming, and probed slightly away, and found that Xuanming was only temporarily lost. With the power of action, there is no fatality, and immediately heaved a sigh of relief. Because no matter what, this Xuanming is one of the few strong men in the entire dragon-loving army. The third-ranked Juxing Do Di, if there are any flaws in this, I am afraid that King Xuanling will not be able to eat and walk around. After all, King Xuanling is not the only one who covers the sky with one hand. King Xuanling, didn't you say that you have figured out what's in the Temple of Medusa? What's going on? Yi Mo shouted to King Xuanling, who was standing beside him, holding back his anger. Lao Yi, I do know some secrets in the Medusa temple, but all I know is that there is a colorful swallowing python in the Medusa temple, but I never knew that such a powerhouse would appear. King Xuanling's face was extremely ugly, as if he had eaten durian. I am afraid that the strength of this mysterious woman has reached the level of fighting immortals. Yi Mo calmed down in the next link to moment www.novelmtl.com because Yi Mo knew that now is not the time to fight in the nest. Once the Medusa clan is mysteriously strong if he takes action, I am afraid that with the strength of Yi Mo and King Xuanling, they cannot resist. After all, that mysterious woman is a real fighting immortal. The gap between the real Dou Xian and the half-immortal powerhouse is not even a little bit, and what's more, they are only 2 9-star Dou emperors. Master, this King Xuanling will not be killed now, but in the future. Shikai Tianshan Python did not feel any surprise when he saw Cailin let go of Tang Tang and a few people, but said to King Xuanling calmly, "It's too late, I have to save him first. As for these people, I'll talk about it later." A dignified look appeared on Cailin's shadow, obviously feeling the danger Xiao Yan encountered, and immediately ignored the Xuanling King and the others. The jade hand was slightly raised, and it was easily swung towards the void around him, and the space was instantly torn apart, and a space crack appeared that did not know where it was going. "Go!" Cailin snorted coldly, and immediately rushed in. Although Shikai Tianshan Python was extremely unwilling, he had no choice but to follow people. "They look like this. It seems that he is going to save people?" King Xuanling immediately understood when he saw the mysterious woman with a wrong expression. "Let's go. It's time to settle the matter of the Medusa family. There is a strong immortal warrior in the Medusa clan. I am afraid that the situation of Xuanxin Santian will be greatly changed." After the Xuanling King finished speaking, he directly swept up Xuanming, and then quickly disappeared in the desert of death. Ask for tickets. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 597. With the shocking explosion in the Temple of Medusa, it suddenly spread throughout the entire desert of death. Somewhere in one of the 9 major tribes of Medusa, an elderly man slowly stomped on a snake-headed cane, then squinted and looked into the distance. Boom, boom, boom. A terrifying explosion sounded, and the old man's pupils suddenly flashed with surprise. That is, the direction of the Temple of Medusa. This volatility. That little guy actually succeeded? My Medusa clan has gone through countless clansmen, but I haven't cracked the secret of the Medusa temple. I didn't expect it to be cracked by a little foreign doll today. But it's okay, it's time for me, the Medusa family, to take care of it. The old man was actually Shefu. Xinya 81 Zhang Weian Wang U. Kai 8.1 ZS, Coem, pass my order to hold the highest level meeting of the Medusa family. Our Medusa family, it's time to elect a king. After Shefu finished speaking, his pupils flashed with a strange look. Following Shefu's order, the entire Medusa family was busy, because they all knew that there seemed to be some kind of creature in the Medusa temple, and that creature made the blood in the deepest part of their bodies surrender to it. In the shattered void where Xiao Yan, the lonely desert of death, is located. Xiao Yan and the Gorfine's energy clone were inseparable. If it weren't for the fact that Xiao Yan had just swallowed the holy flame, his strength had skyrocketed, and with the assistance of Long Yi and Xin Yan, I'm afraid Xiao Yan would really not be able to deal with this Gorfine's energy clone. This Gorfine's energy clone doesn't know why, although the projection power came to the duty continent, but at best, it is only a powerhouse who blindly completes the 8-star duty. However, Rao was like this, and it also brought a lot of difficulties to Xiao Yan. Asshole, this Gorfine is so terrifying with just such an energy clone. Then if the real Gorfine comes. Xiao Yan wiped the blood on the corner of his mouth, and then swallowed a large amount of pills directly, gasping. I can't say the same. After all, the power of the blood demon's energy clone is suppressed by the plane, so it can't release much power. Also, although I am Shengen, my peak strength is the peak of the Dou Emperor. It was fine at the beginning, and my strength reached the 7-star Dou Emperor consummation, but now I don't know why. My strength is exactly the same as yours. I think it has something to do with the burning in your body. Your strength has suppressed my strength. Xin Yan said to Xiao Yan. Don't you exist alone? Xiao Yan asked in surprise. I can change it to another existence of Holy Flame, because Holy Flame was swallowed by you and turned into a part of your fighting chi. Although I don't know why there are 23 kinds of flame fighting chi in your body, but my Holy Flame is a part of your fighting spirit. The power of flame is integrated into your fighting spirit. Xin Yan said, after talking so much, you just want to say, if you want to increase your strength will also increase? Xiao Yan asked rhetorically. Yes, this is the horror of our holy flame spirit, which has unlimited potential just like the burning Jew in your body. Xin Yan said firmly, don't talk about it, this Gorfine seems to be preparing for the final attack. Just when Xiao Yan and Xin Yan were about to say something, the already scarred Long Yi said weakly. Although Long Yi's strength has now recovered to the half-immortal level, he is not very useful against the Gorfiend, because Long Yi's attack on the Gorfiend's energy clone can be completely ignored. One side is the energy clone, the other side is the soul power. The two have different attributes. Naturally, Long Yi can't hit the Gorfiend left, but the Gorfiend's evil attack is attacking Long Yi. This is the most angry. Humans, I have to say that you are actually able to resist my attack with the strength of the late 6-star Dou D, which is enough to show your evil spirit. But my blood demons can exist for such a long time, not only by absorbing fresh blood. If you can't use it for me, then you will perish. Blood Demon Gold Chi, get up! Gorfiend's energy clone suddenly laughed strangely, and quickly changed his handprints by hand. The laughter was extremely gloomy like a deadly ghost. Moreover, with the strange laughter and handprints of the Gorfiend's energy clone, Xiao Yan clearly felt that the Gorfiend's golden energy in his chest was shaking violently. The blood demon gold energy in the chest vibrated violently, and then turned into a force of evil, constantly attacking Xiao Yan's soul realm, battle Qi Si, and even the brain center. Trying to occupy Xiao Yan's body and assimilate to become a member of the evil clan. Xiao Yan hugged his forehead tightly with both hands, a sense of powerlessness spread throughout his body. Damn! Xiao Yan gritted his teeth, the corners of his mouth were clearly showing a lot of blood because of the excessive force. But now Xiao Yan can't control so much anymore. This blood demon golden energy is too terrifying. Even if it is suppressed by the power of Xinyan Holy Flame, it cannot be completely suppressed. After all, it is still under the control of the blood demon energy clone explode. A scream echoed in the shattered void. With the dirty method of the blood demon's energy clone, the immortal body that wrapped Xiao Yan's whole body disappeared instantly, and even above Xiao Yan's body, the power of the earthy yellow holy flame and the purple gold blood demon energy continued. You come and go, fighting in Xiao Yan's body. Damn it! Xiao Yan forcibly guarded his soul realm, the battle Qi Si and the spiritual realm, letting the blood demon gold Qi flow everywhere. Xiao Yan not only possesses the power of different fires, but also possesses the power of holy flames. Although there is no way to completely eradicate this evil blood demon golden energy, it can be done without being swallowed and assimilated by it. Go back to me. With a cold snort, Xiao Yan suddenly resounded in his heart, and then the incomparably domineering blood demon gold Qi was directly forced back to his chest by Xiao Yan. Seal. Xiao Yan had just forced the blood demon golden energy back to his chest. Xiao Yan directly used the power of holy flame and the power of different fire to set up 10 layers of seals around him, and then he breathed heavily. Gorfiend's golden Qi is indeed evil. Xiao Yan said slightly in his heart. Just now he had finally seen the appearance of this Gorfiend's golden Qi bursting out. If it wasn't for Xiao Yan having the power of holy flame and strange link to fire www.novelmtl.com, I'm afraid it can directly occupy the body and devour the soul by this blood demon golden energy. Gorfiend explodes. Seeing this, the Gorfiend made his energy clone, although he wondered why Xiao Yan was not assimilated, but he didn't show anything. The black energy all over his body instantly snorted coldly, and a black ball was instantly born. Above the black ball, there is boundless evil power and asterisk power. Even an 8-star Dou D perfect powerhouse, under this powerful blow, can't escape the fall. This is. Xiao Yan's body was weak for a while. After all, he just spent a lot of money to resist the outbreak of the blood demon's golden energy. However, after Xiao Yan saw the black ball condensed by the Gorfiend's energy clone, a wave of death was attached to his heart. Bastard! Xiao Yan scolded weakly, and then saw that the Gorfiend's energy clone instantly merged into the black ball, and an earth-shattering voice echoed. Go to hell! After speaking, the black ball that contained incomparable evil attacked Xiao Yan, and came to Xiao Yan in an instant. Xiao Yan shook his head helplessly. He was just about to mobilize the strange fire and burning judgment in his body, trying to detonate it to get a chance to escape, but the price was too expensive, and Xiao Yan would definitely not use it until the crisis. His life. It's mine. Just when Xiao Yan was about to detonate all the strange fires in his body, a familiar voice spread throughout this shattered space. Xiao Yan raised his head and saw a beautiful figure wrapped in the power of 10 colors. Ask for tickets. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 598. Cailin. Xiao Yan stared blankly at the woman who was full of the aura of a ruthless queen beside him. Let's settle this first. A trace of anger appeared in Cailin's pupils, and immediately stepped out of the cracked space without waiting for Xiao Yan to speak. The next moment, Cailin directly recovered its body, and the huge body of the Shikai swallowing python instantly filled this void. Xinya 81 Zhang Wei and Wang Wu. Kai 8.1 ZS. Koem. The huge snake tail of the color scales is mixed with the power of 10 colors, and viciously slaps the black ball that is incomparably evil. Boom boom boom. The terrifying attacks converged in an instant, but there was no fighting sparks in the sky. The seemingly incomparably powerful black ball was instantly split in half by the huge snake tail of the color scales, and then instantly disappear. 10-colored sky-swallowing python? At the moment when the black ball just disappeared, the blood demon's energy clone appeared in the black chi. Humph! After resisting the black ball, Cailin instantly recovered her figure, and then her *** body twisted and slowly appeared beside the Gorfiend's energy clone. Forbidden. The jade hand lightly tapped it, and the Gorfiend's energy clone that exuded surprise was instantly imprisoned by a force of 10 colors. Can't move a single bit. What should I do with this person? With a cold snort, he seemed to be asking Xiao Yan. Killed, Xiao Yan said calmly, hands up and hands down. The power of the 10 colors that imprisoned the powerful Gorfiend energy clone suddenly compresses, crushing it in an instant. At this time, the energy clone of the Gorfiend has completely disappeared. Outside the distant Dou Xian world, there is another owner of the bloodline of the 10-colored sky-swallowing python in the Great Thousand Worlds? No, this matter is too important and must be told to several other messengers. After the Gorfiend finished speaking, he left in an instant, not knowing where to go. Are you okay? Xiao Yan looked at the incomparably powerful figure in front of him, and suddenly had mixed feelings for a while. What do you think? Cailin clapped her hands after disappearing the Gorfiend's energy clone, and then looked at the weak Xiao Yan with her arms folded, feeling rather resentful. Actually, I also have difficulties. When Cailin stared at him so suddenly, Xiao Yan suddenly panicked and hurriedly explained. I don't care what your reasons are, but you remember. Your life is mine. Cailin said indifferently, but the extremely difficult to conceal thoughts in her voice could not be faked. Haha, Xiao Yan, don't look at the Queen's arrogance. In fact, I think about you very tightly. When I merged the blood of the 10-colored swallowing python at the Temple of Medusa before, if the Queen hadn't missed you for a long time, I'm afraid I wouldn't have left so early. Devouring the blood of the Shikai swallowing python is too terrifying. The Queen talks about you every day. The Shikai swallowing python who followed Cailin laughed. Xiao Shi, talk too much. Cailin floated her head and snorted coldly at Shikai Tiantian python. You are? The soul of the colorful swallowing python before? Xiao Yan heard this and felt amused immediately, because Xiao Yan knew about the arrogant temperament of Cailin. Although it was not as outrageous as what Xiao Shi said, it was still inseparable. Right, I'm the colorful swallowing python that followed the Queen before. Fortunately, you still remember me. Xiao Shi said angrily. Haha, I said that the breath is a little familiar, so it is. Xiao Yan laughed, but his memory was a little vague. If it wasn't for the 7-colored sky swallowing python's soul suppressing the color scales, this scene would never have happened. When the words fell, the heart rock swept into Xiao Yan's body directly. As for Long Yi, he had also returned to the ancient ruler of Yuo Heng to warm up. Only Xiao Yan, Cailin and Xiao Shi were left in the entire space. The space here is about to collapse. I know you have a lot of confusion. Let's go out and talk about it. Cailin was the first to break the silence. Okay. Xiao Yan nodded in agreement after hearing this. Immediately, the three of them swept out of the shattered void and came to the side of the Temple of Medusa. You ask. Cailin's ruthless and ruthless queen's aura was clearly restrained. At this time, Cailin was like a good wife and mother. After coming out of that space passage, we dispersed, but I didn't miss any chance to find you guys. Xiao Yan smiled slowly, facing Cailin. He always had a different emotion. What exactly were the creatures in that space tunnel back then? Cailin didn't care so much. As long as Xiao Yan was fine, the others, with her indifferent temperament, would definitely not ask more. That's a friend of Emperor Tuosh Gu. It's just that it was too seriously eroded by the evil race outside the territory. Xiao Yan did not hide it. It's fine, Cailin said. After I came out of the space passage, I separated from Zuner and the others and came to Zon Santian. I just came here and I don't know where I live, and I simply met the strong men of the Medusa clan, which happened to be suppressed by the blood of the colorful swallowing python in my body, so I was sent to the temple of Medusa by them. The blood of the python. Cailin's jade hand raised slightly, and the power of the 10 colors around him disappeared instantly. It's hard work. Seeing this, Xiao Yan didn't hesitate, hugged Cailin tightly, and the tightness of the body pulled both of them into their hearts a lot. Cough, cough. Xiao Shi coughed awkwardly a few times as if he noticed the different eyes of the two. After all, Xiao Shi was a woman anyway. Okay, let's suppress the evil spirit in your body first. There was a tinge of crimson on Cailin's pretty face, obviously facing Xiao Yan. Even Cailin, who had always been like a still water, couldn't keep her mind at peace. Your strength. Xiao Yan was actually very puzzled. Although Cailin was already a colorful swallowing python in Dou Xian continent, his strength couldn't have skyrocketed like this. According to Xiao Yan's speculation, this Cailin's strength is probably stronger than that of Zhu Lao. My strength has already reached the early stage of 1-star fighting immortals. All of this depends on that 10-colored sky swallowing python senior, and I also promised her some link to things www.novelmtl.com. Cailin doesn't know what is in Xiao Yan's mind. Think, immediately red lips moved. Don't worry, no matter when, I still have mine. Xiao Yan naturally knew that this swallowing python had some advantages that humans couldn't match since ancient times, so he was not too surprised by Cailin's skyrocketing strength. After helping you suppress this evil force, I should help the Medusa family defeat the Xuanling royal family. After that, I will follow you to the ends of the earth. A dull voice slowly spread over the desert. After finally being promoted to Dou Di, how do you feel that you are back to the days when you were chased by Medusa women all day long in the Dou Xian continent? Xiao Yan helplessly smiled bitterly, but his pupils exuded an even more addictive idea. When the words fell, Cailin helped Xiao Yan to suppress the blood demon Gold Qi, and Cailin found that even with her fighting power, she couldn't completely take out the blood demon Gold Qi, and could only suppress it temporarily. According to Cailin's estimation, if you want to completely eliminate this blood demon golden energy, you probably need at least 2 stars to fight immortals. You go first. The grievances between the Medusa clan and humans are too terrifying here. After doing all this, Cailin immediately found a few not weak auras coming towards them. Xiao Yan, remember this for this king. Your life can only be mine. A cold voice echoed throughout the desert. This is Queen Medusa. Xiao Yan smiled. He didn't stop, but swept up and quickly escaped from the desert of death. Ask for tickets. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 599. Old Snake, did something happen when you rushed to the temple of Medusa in such a hurry? Above the lonely desert of death, a seemingly not weak snake man spoke to the Snake King. The identity of this snake man is the leader of one of the 9 major tribes, Libu. After all, his strength has reached the late stage of the 8-star Dou Emperor. Don't ask if you shouldn't, the Snake King said coldly. When Na Libu heard the words, he immediately shut up, because he knew that this time, seeing the leaders of the other 9 tribes around him this time was enough to prove that this time was a big deal. But looking at the appearance, it seems that the Medusa family is about to change. The Snake King smiled slightly, and the extremely bright 10-color power slowly appeared in the distance. Although neither the Snake King nor Shefu had any intention of ruling the 9 major tribes of Medusa, they both knew that if they wanted the Medusa family to completely get rid of this desert of death, they must elect a real king. Xinya 81 Zhang Weian Wang U, Kai 8, approximately 1 ZS, Coam, it's almost there. Shefu was at the front of the team and said slowly. At that time, in this team, there will be leaders and some important people among the 9 major tribes of Medusa. Are you here? Above the desert of the lonely desert of death, Cailin was playing with the fine sand, and the charming and enchanting body exuded a terrifying power. Only when the matter of helping the Medusa family is over can we return to him. What is that? With the arrival of Shefu, 2 extremely enchanting women slowly appeared on the desert in front of them. Bold, to actually break into the Medusa temple without authorization. Li Bu looked at Cailin and the 2, looked at a huge gap above the Medusa temple, and immediately said angrily. Don't go. The Snake King just wanted to reach out to stop Li Bu, but was signaled by Snake Fu's eyes. Let him try it. After all, some of the leaders of our 9 major tribes of Medusa are quite unconvinced. Xiaofu deliberately raised his voice a few times and directly let the other leaders listen. Humph! What kind of medicine are you two selling in the gourd, Snake King and Snake King? Another middle-aged man snorted coldly, facing Xiaofu and said, Uncle Mew, calm down. I think Grandma Xiaofu must have her intentions to do this, let's just watch it quietly. A silver bell-like voice suddenly sounded. The next moment, a 3-color light suddenly emerged, and then appeared in front of the crowd. That was a woman with 3-colored light all over her body. If Xiao Yan were here, they would definitely recognize that this woman was the 3-colored swallowing python that day when they entered the oasis of the dead desert oasis for water. I didn't expect you to come. The man who was called Uncle Mew by the 3-colored swallowing python woman saw this, and the anger in his heart gradually diminished. No less, this 3-colored swallowing python is one of the few hopes of their entire Medusa clan. Although the current strength is only a 6-star Dou Xian, it is rare that they are among the 9 major tribes of their Medusa clan. Any leader who sees it must be treated well. This is the power of the bloodline in the Medusa family. Strange, how can these 2 women give me a sense of fear that comes from the depths of my soul? The 3-colored swallowing python slowly turned into a figure and stood above the sky, its beautiful eyes facing the 2 women above the desert looked slowly. Queen, these people, Xiao Shi said as he looked at a menacing man coming from above the sky. This is the Medusa family on the Xuanling continent. Since I promised that senior, naturally I can't break my promise. Cailin opened her mouth casually, but her eyes were fixed on the old snake man above the sky. Where did the blue and white snake go? Mei Mu glanced around slightly. Cailin knew the aura of the dozen or so people above the sky, but there was no blue and white snake among them, so she was immediately surprised. Because Cailin was able to enter the temple of Medusa, it was the blue and white snake that overcame everyone's opinions and gave Cailin a chance. Otherwise, there would be no chance for Cailin to devour the blood of the Tensai swallowing python. I don't know where you came from, but if you trespass into my Medusa temple without authorization, there is only one dead end. The Libu man shouted, the huge fighting spirit in his hands condensed instantly, and then he was ready to attack the 2 Cailin girls. It's really some annoying flies, Cailin said with dissatisfaction, and then did not wait for the man to do something. She let out a coquettish anger, and a force of 10 colors rose into the sky. Boom, boom, boom! A huge beam of 10-color power shot up into the sky, causing the space in the desert to shake violently, as if it would shatter at any time. This is, when the beam of 10-colored power rose into the sky, an unbelievable look slowly appeared on the 3-colored sky-swallowing python woman among the 9 major tribes of Medusa, with a pretty face. There was a rare heaviness above. The 3-colored swallowing python, whose name is Qin Yi, is a powerhouse whose strength has reached the early stage of the 6-star Dou Xian. Grandma Xiaofu, is this true? Qin Yi turned her head in disbelief and looked at Xiaofu, whose eyes were tightly closed. In the beam of light rising into the sky in front of him, there is clearly an extremely huge bloodline pressure. Qin Yi is familiar with that bloodline. Swallowing the python, looks like she succeeded. When Zhao King sent her to the temple of Medusa, most of you still disapproved. Now, it seems that Zhao King's eyesight is not comparable to those of you old fellows. Xiaofu's eyes slowly opened, deep-colored eyes. The eyes looked at the color scale above the desert and opened. Is it really the legendary swallowing python? Facing the 10-colored power that soared into the sky, many tribal leaders immediately felt adoration from the bottom of their hearts. Guardian of the Temple of Medusa, Xiaofu, greet Her Majesty the Queen. Just as many tribal leaders hurriedly resisted the repressive force from the bottom of their hearts, Xiaofu's figure moved and disappeared in the sky in an instant, and then appeared in the desert. Facing Cailin Road, Senior Xiaofu, what are you doing? Some tribal leaders who couldn't hold their breath immediately felt a little angry, and were extremely puzzled by Xiaofu's actions. Senior, please get up, I can't bear it. Cailin helped Xiaofu up, but when she saw that Xiaofu couldn't kneel, she understood. I'm the first to disagree. How can an outsider be the king of our Medusa clan? The sky filled with dissatisfaction. Cici. Just as the man spoke, the Xiaofu's eyes moved slightly, and an extremely weak message entered Cailin's mind. Aren't you satisfied? Cailin opened her mouth slightly, Qian Ying turned around, and with it, an extremely bright 10-color power appeared in her hand. Are you convinced? Cailin got the Shefu's understanding, and immediately didn't bother to talk nonsense with these people. I don't agree. An outsider is also trying to dominate our Medusa clan. It's a fool's dream. After the man Libu finished speaking, his whole body moved, and the later stage of the 8-star Dou Di emerged instantly. Then kill the chickens to warn the monkeys. A domineering and cold voice came from Cailin's mouth, and then Cailin's pupils instantly changed to colorless, a terrifying strength of a fighting immortal powerhouse and a 10-colored swallowing python. Breath, both come together, pretending to be a ghost. At this point, the man had no choice but to bite the bullet. Go! With a wave of Cailin's jade hand, the power of 10 colors roared away. Look! I see through your tricks. The man shouted loudly, just about to take Cailin's blow, but he was directly knocked back hundreds of meters by the power of 10 colors. There is blood on the corners of the mouth, and wounds of different degrees on the body. You woman, you are really ruthless. Some leaders who couldn't stand it also said, don't worry, he's not dead, he just passed out. After Cailin finished speaking, the breath of his body was instantly released. It's really the power of the 10-colored sky-swallowing python that only appeared in the legend. Facing the colorful scales and the blood of the 10-colored sky-swallowing python in their bodies, the last hope in the hearts of these tribal leaders was instantly shattered. Because they know that no matter what her origins are, since she has obtained the inheritance of the 10-colored sky-swallowing python, she will become the king of the Medusa clan from now on. Let's go, Queen, let's go to the palace first. Seeing Cailin shock these people, Xiaofu spoke immediately. Cailin heard the words and slowly withdrew her power, like a simple woman. It seems that the good days of the Xuanling royal family are coming to an end. The Snake King followed, slowly looking at the Xuanling royal family in the distance. Ask for tickets. End of this chapter.